All right, so I want to go over what it's going to feel like for all the rising signs having a new moon in Aquarius. Let's go ahead and go over those right now, shall we? Aries. So, new moon being in Aquarius is going to be all about a new beginning in your collective circle of friends and projects that you have planned for your future. You might feel inspired or become inspired from someone in a new friend that you make or someone in your friendship circle. My advice is write down all those goals that you have so you don't forget about them, right? Because since the North Node of Pisces is in your 12th house, I think it'd be, if you don't write things down, it can get lost in translation. So it'd be good to write that down. Also, with Pluto being in your 11th house as well, in the first degree, you know, it definitely could be new friends that you're getting an inspiration from, or actually, you could have some of your old friends, like friends from the past, that come back into your life, and you guys start planning stuff together, like whether it be trips or goals that you both aspire to reach as well. Yeah. With Mercury being there too, it helps the communication to be very sharp, focused as well. And the Sun. So those are all really good things. Keep in mind that during this time, there is a wide square. It's not really close enough to have a prominent influence, but there is a squaring aspect from the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Pluto to Uranus in retrograde. That's in Taurus right now. That is in your second house. So be mindful of your spending. Like, don't just get so excited that you actually end up losing something. Like, I don't think it would be anything to worry about, honestly, because there's going to be enough clarity with Mercury and Aquarius there. But just be mindful. I think it's always good to be extra cautious, right? Make sure everyone's on the same page as well. And now, Taurus rising, you guys are going to have Aquarius, new moon, in your 10th house of your career. So, at the same time, you have Uranus that's been in your sign, in your first house for so long. You've gone through so many changes and transformations in your persona, your outward identity. And I feel like this is a time where you're starting to really get your bearings together and you're planning your future on what you want to do for a living. I think this really is the year for you to make those plans and start that process of launching it, really, truly. So, this is a great time for you to get all those plans together. Another thing, too, 6 months from now, there's going to be a full moon in Aquarius. Write down all these goals that you have. Like I was saying with Aries, I'm going to tell everybody, actually, everyone during this full moon or new moon time, make sure to write down your goals, set your intentions. And then 6 months down the line, you can look at what you wrote down and check off what you got done. And I think it's also fun to do that as well. It's like a capsule where you write down all the things, your goals, and then 6 months later you open it back up, and you can be quite surprised at how many goals that you achieve as long as you stay focused on your path. So that's a great one for you, especially since Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini soon, so it won't be in your first house anymore. It'll be in Gemini's first house. So it'll move into your second house. But we'll go over that when the time comes. Gemini rising, it's going to be in your ninth house. So is there something new that you want to set out to learn more about? Ninth house of higher learning, education, spirituality, all that kind of stuff, right? So perhaps you want to learn some brand new subject, whether you're going to go back to school or whether you're going to kind of self-teach, like self-taught stuff and do some more research on a particular topic. This is a great time to write that down, and you can jot down exactly what questions you want to find answers to and use that as a reference as you are researching whatever topic you're interested in expanding on. Either that, or this could also mean that you set an intention to either make plans to go on a trip at some point within the next 6 months that will actually be almost like an experiment that you learn something new from. So like a foreign land, yes. Especially since you do have Pluto there right now, right? So this could be the start of that whole process. You have Taurus in your 12th house. So yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs in your subconscious spiritual realms with Uranus there. You got to let me know how that feels, because I have no idea how that would feel. And I'm interested in what that feels like. I can only imagine. It's either scary or it's fun or it's eye-opening. Uranus is always unpredictable, so you never know what you're going to get. But with that being said, though, because Uranus is still in Taurus, it's in your 12th house, it's been in retrograde, be very cautious as to when you do go traveling, because it is the house of self-undoing. It is the house where unseen things can happen. You have hidden enemies. So it's unpredictable where your enemies are, right? But you don't need to be paranoid or anything, but just keep that in mind. Just always have that in mind, just in case, so you can stay safe. What else? I think that's it. Cancer rising, you guys have Aquarius in your 8th house, so that's where Pluto's been going, right? This new moon there is almost kind of like setting the start of a new transformative experience for you. The beginnings of a deep search for yourself. So let's see. Yeah. Going through the 8th house. It is possibly a great time for you to write down the things that you've always had questions about, the mysteries of life. Make a list of the mysteries that you want to, that over time you're going to kind of embark on discovering more about and learning about. It's also a good time to dive into the deeper part of yourself where you feel maybe some baggage that's been hanging out there that needs to be released still, or make the goal to release and work on releasing unwanted baggage, pains, hurts, traumas throughout the next 6 months. And of course, it is a constant thing that all of us are doing. But for you, this new moon is putting extra focus on that, especially with Pluto being there. It's going to have a long transit through your 8th house. So there's going to be a progressive build throughout. It's not going to be too crazy or shocking, but you'll have those experiences. Then you have Taurus in your 11th house. So a lot of ups and downs with your friend groups. Maybe you have been in and out of different communities or stuff like that. Met a lot of people, but it's just nothing really like clicks. So a lot of acquaintances, but not like, you know what I mean? My stomach just growled. So I guess it's hungry. Stuff like that. I would say with that squaring aspect to Pluto and new moon and sun, Mercury, I take that as don't share too much. Be cautious as to who you share information with when you have Uranus there. And there's a squaring aspect happening to your 8th house. Be cautious of who you share your intimate details with. And Leo rising. Guess what, Leos? We have a new moon on our descendant. Yes. Yes. So, Leo, it's going to be in your 7th house of relationships. Aquarius is your 7th house because opposites tend to attract. So, what that means for you, Leo, is you could have a new start with someone, set intentions, your goals on relationships. What do you want? What things do you want in a relationship? What is important to you, Leo? Do you want there to be more emotional connection? Do you want there to be more communication, more freedom, or maybe more quality time? Go through that list and really figure out what you need from a one-on-one intimate relationship with somebody. New moons can also mean that maybe you do also meet somebody who knows. You could, but mainly the new moon is about setting intentions for the house that it's in. So it is covering the partnerships in your life. You will have Taurus in your 10th house. So you've had some ups and downs in your career field for quite some time now. Jobs, sometimes it's been in and out and whatnot, or up and down. Things are constantly changing in your career. But since there's going to be that squaring aspect to your 7th, just be cautious and aware that your work is not interfering with your relationships, because sometimes when you or maybe you don't purposely do that, maybe something comes up and it's related to your career or work that you have to get done, but not to take it harshly. I'm trying to think of all the possible things that could happen, really. I would say it also offers like the awareness that to have the relationships you desire, right? It's important to have yourself solid in your career in your 10th house. It's another thing too, but just make sure that your work doesn't get in the way of your partnerships. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a great time for Leo risings to hash it out with their partners, and not just partners. This could be about your business relations as well in your career, especially since we've got Taurus squaring it, the Uranus part, right? So it could bring up topics of partnerships, business partnerships. making sure there's clarity there in the contracts that you're making and signing. But other than that, looks pretty good. It's really just focusing on your one-on-one dynamics. And again, just make that list. Write down a list of things you can work on the next 6 months, and look at it later on to see where you're at. Virgo rising, you guys have Aquarius in your 6th house. So this is really a new start for your day-to-day routines. It is time to get out that New Year's list and jot down your goals. I want to start exercising more on a daily basis, or I'm going to make sure to declutter my house, or I'm going to eat healthier. That's kind of the 6th house things there. But yeah, just mainly setting new intentions for your routines. Where can you become more organized in life? And usually it helps when you have things organized. You can find things easier. So that's the main theme there. You'll have more focus to really dedicate to working those things out. Then you have Taurus in your 9th house. So a lot of, I would imagine Uranus being there in your 9th house of beliefs and higher knowledge, long distance stuff. It could either be that you've had a lot of travels, different travels, random last minute travels, or it could be that you've learned a lot throughout the process of Uranus being there. So your belief systems have changed radically compared to where they were, ever since 2018, because that's when Uranus went into Taurus, was in 2018. So, and then it's going to go into Gemini, which is your 10th house. But yeah, I would say look at how, the 9th house of what you believe in, your philosophies and all that kind of stuff, has an effect on your day-to-day routines in the 6th house, because it all comes from your belief systems, right? A lot of times, people would change their diet based off of a spiritual belief, right? Like when you become vegan or anything else. So maybe that's tied together. Maybe you just need to switch up the way you look at your day-to-day routines. But yeah, Taurus, Uranus retrograde in the 9th. Everything's really rooted from how we believe in things, what we believe. And that's how we usually operate, is based off of our beliefs, right? So with Uranus being there, has been kind of shaking that up. So it has affected in some way your routines. So it's kind of looking at that. But yeah, Libra rising. Okay, you guys have Aquarius in your 5th house. So Libra, you guys are going to have a new start in your creativity. This is a new moon where it is all about setting your intentions on what creative projects you want to start this year. Is there something you want to accomplish? I've never tried singing before, so maybe I want to learn how to sing, or take singing classes or drawing classes. Maybe I want to be go into dance or any of those creative projects, right? Maybe I want to set a goal to build my own tiny home. Honestly, that's one of my goals. One of these days, I'm telling you, one day I'm going to build my own tiny house by myself. I will do it one of these days. I just don't know when. You have Taurus in your 8th house. So you've had a lot of sporadic, like transformative experiences. The Uranus in the eighth, like, how would that feel? I'm actually going to look that up really quick. Hold on. Okay, transit Uranus in the eighth. I just looked it up really quick. Transit Uranus in the eighth brings unexpected developments in the area of finance. However, this does not involve the money you earn. It involves money you share with your partner. Romantic or business, loans, alimony, taxes, people with whom you have a close relationship and whom you depend on financially may experience a period of financial instability. You may also start experimenting with your sexuality and change your opinion about intimate relationships. Ooh, like that one. That's spicy. Yeah, maybe you've been doing that. That's fun. Yeah, because like Uranus is all about originality, freedom, revolution. So, what was the other one that I was wondering? Uranus in the 12th. Let's go look at that one really quick while we're at it. That was for Gemini rising. So Gemini risings has had Uranus in their 12th. Okay, this transit helps you to break free of the cycles and burdens you are not aware of that cause obstacles on your way. Various events or coincidences may occur at the beginning of this process. There is a risk that your secrets or private information will be revealed. You will have the desire to help others selflessly and anonymously. Okay, well, that's not bad. Yeah, nice. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the rust. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I had to. This is not necessarily healthy, but they're gummy hearts. They're cinnamon. So, okay. So, yeah, Libra, you guys are going to just focus on that. Also, new intentions on like your romantic pursuits as well, because it's about romance too. So, that could be another thing. But yeah. All right, now Scorpio rising. For you guys, you have a new moon in Aquarius that is going to be in your 4th house of home. So this is really a time for you to set new intentions about how you want your home to be. Where, if it doesn't feel like home to you right now, it's time to put in plans of how you can achieve that home that you want. The goals that you want to put in place to buy a new home someday or to move. So this really is the time for that. Also, though, it involves your family as well. So your family members that you might not get along with very well or feel distant from, because Pluto is also there along with Mercury and the Sun. This is really a good time to hash it out with them and have a conversation. Because another thing I want to point out is the aspect of Pluto and Mercury making a conjunction to each other. Okay. The effects of that conjunction, your thoughts are more focused and intense than usual. You may obtain information that is very important for you. You are also able to discover the hidden causes of problems and not to bother with unimportant things. During this transit, you will utilize, hold on. During this transit, you will utilize your strategic thinking, searching for truth, critical thinking, and observational talent. So it's really going to bring a lot of focus to your 4th house of home. And those would be the most important to you during this time and for the rest of the year. Then you have Taurus in your 7th house. So having Taurus in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships can be quite chaotic as well. I'll look that up really quick. of having Uranus transiting the 7th. So this transit, usually it brings many changes in your relationships with your loved ones throughout the entirety of the transit. These changes may be triggered by unexpected events or by the personality of your loved ones, who may now be less reliable. The effect of this transit will be that you will need greater independence in your relationships and that you will not tolerate well if your partner is too dependent on you. You may be attracted to unusual people. They will bring feelings of excitement and instability into your life. You may plunge into romantic relationships with enthusiasm and quickly fall in love, but you may fall out of love just as quickly. If you are in a relationship that is stagnant, it will be difficult for you to remain in it. So let me know if that resonates for you guys, if that's exactly what you guys have been going through. All Scorpio risings, and it makes sense because Uranus is a planet of change. It's a planet of unexpected things and sudden starts and sudden endings. So it kind of does make sense in that way. But regardless, it is a focus on your home and your home foundations for this new moon. And now Sagittarius rising, you guys are going to have Aquarius in your 3rd house of communications and education and your close to home travels and such. So I need to put these down somewhere because I'm not going to eat them on camera right now. Otherwise, you're just going to hear me like eating, and no one wants to hear that. I certainly don't. Okay. So, yes, the 3rd house. You know what? This new moon for you, Sag, is going to be about setting intentions on changing up your environment. Maybe you're not really digging it in where you live, the people that you've been having to be around all the time. Not to say they're bad, but you need a change, right? You might feel that you need some kind of change in your life, whether it's in your friendship circles, jobs, relationships, any of that kind. New moons signify making goals because you feel it's a time to start that. And you feel like you're ready, like your soul knows it's ready for a change, but it has to build up, right? It has to focus on it and build over time towards that. So that's where it's really going to be at. You might actually want to, you might have more desire to meet more people within the realms of your city to get more information on some like a goal that you're setting, whether it's to learn something, to increase your, or by observation, you actually learn. So it's like learning through observation and through communication with others is really big time 3rd house. So that could be what it is. Like you kind of learn some new things by having conversations with people. Maybe there are some people you want to get to know more, get to know better because they're interesting and you feel you can learn from them in some way. So that could be something as well. But mainly setting intentions for how you can make changes within your immediate environment. And actually, 3rd house is also about like transportation as well. So I'm wondering if you don't have a car, for example, maybe you will make the goal to save up for a car. That could be another thing too. Yeah. And then you've had Taurus in your 6th house. So there's been a lot of changes within your routines, a lot of unexpected things happening that kind of shake up your life, and not in crazy ways, but in ways to where it's like, let's use an example as like a job that you're at. It's like an on-call job. Okay, let's use that as an example. Because Uranus there is about sudden change, sudden happenings. And if it's affecting your daily life, then it's like having an on-call job. That's what it is. More of those things. So it's like some people have jobs that are always on call, but then ones that don't even have a job that's like that. It feels like their life during this period of time has been nothing but that. So that's what I would say about that. And then, of course, a lot of changes within your health as well. Perhaps you've had to be really careful with your health because Uranus, it can take a toll on your body when it's in the house of health and the body. Yeah, the body doesn't like that at all whatsoever. So perhaps you've been struggling with health issues as well. So, but soon it's going to move and it will go into Gemini, which will be your 7th house. And then you'll be the one having the chaotic relationships. Okay, so now we're on to Capricorn rising. Aquarius is in your 2nd house. So, it's about new starts in your resources. Yeah. Having new starts in your resources. It's bringing an awareness to your financial issues, things that you own. You may tend to derive your own value from material things, but try to keep these issues from affecting you and don't compare your financial situation to others' financials. It's a good time to really think about what to do. What can you do to have a feeling of greater? What can you do? Then that's the intention to set is in order to have greater material security for yourself. What can you do? What goals can you set to achieve that? So you could be more conservative and pragmatic during this time. Not be as into exciting things. You don't want to do anything crazy or unexpected or impulsive. However, there's still a chance to be impulsive though, because the moon is up and down, right? It's like the emotions change. So, I mean, still be careful, right? But I don't think that you'll have to worry much about that, Capricorn. So, most of the Capricorns that I know, Capricorn risings, are very, very responsible with all their stuff. They're very good at that. You've had Uranus in Taurus in your 5th house. So that's been bringing a lot of energy to your romantic life. You've had possibly, maybe not all, but possibly have had quite a few flings throughout the years ever since 2018. And, but it doesn't have to be about like romance. It could be about creativity, right? So maybe you, went through like and still going through like the process of like creating things like nonstop and just going through those phases where it's like, oh my God, I'm so inspired. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I lost it. I got to get back to regular life. Those start and stops. So, but yeah, just 2nd house, new moon, set intentions of what you can do to help you gain more material security so you feel more stable. And Aquarius rising, it's going to be in your 1st house. 1st house. The new moon, a new you. It's all about setting intentions for what am I going to become? What do I want to look like? How do I want to look? How do I want to come off in the next 6 months? I want to just transform how I look. Like, for example, you were more of the librarian type and dressed up like a librarian. Well, guess what? I want to become a gothic now. In 6 months, my goal is I'm going to go goth. Or vice versa. I'm goth. I want to go to the librarian style, or I want to go to the preppy style, which is pretty much librarian style, but not as classy. And then, yeah, you get what I mean though. So that's what I think for you guys. It's really focusing on Pluto's there, right? So Pluto's going to be transforming your first house for about what, 2 decades? It's going to be a while, but yeah, you've had Taurus in your fourth house. So there's been a lot of changes within your family dynamics. Maybe not all Aquarius risings out there, but I would not be shocked is if you guys have had a lot of ups and downs and drama within your family dynamics, like with family members, family, anything with family, home related things. There was a lot of drama, a lot of sudden endings and sudden, oh, I'm not talking to you ever again. Don't speak to me. And then, all this just dramatic stuff. Taurus is soon going to be leaving, so it's okay. It's all right. So Taurus, well, not Taurus, Uranus is going to be leaving Taurus, not Taurus. Uranus is going to be changing into Gemini, which is going to be in your fifth house, so that won't be as heavy. So it'll all be good. Don't worry. And last but not least, Pisces. Pisces rising. Well, Pisces, you have Saturn in your first house. You have Venus there. You have the North Node there, right? You had Taurus, Uranus and Taurus in your third house. So a lot of things have been changing within your community, within the communication you've had with others around you in your day-to-days. The way you've been learning has been very sporadic. Perhaps you've gone through several different cars, or maybe you don't have a car and you've had to, try and find transportation randomly out of nowhere. But this new moon and Pluto and Mercury and the sun is going to be in your 12th house. New moon in Aquarius being in your 12th house. Well, I just had a full moon in my 12th house in Cancer. So having a new moon there means for you guys, having a new moon in the 12th house would mean that it's time to set intentions for spiritual goals. Do a nice new moon ritual, set intentions about your next 6 months. Where do you want to, what is your dream and what do you desire? What do you really want from 2025? And setting goals on how to really take care of your spiritual health, I would say. Self-love, self-healing things throughout the year. Vision boards, of course, are always good. I think that's good for all signs, not just Pisces rising, but yeah, those kinds of things. So setting new intentions for your spiritual self, your soul, because the North Node in your first house is going to take you through quite a ride. All right, well, that's what I have for you guys. I hope you liked it. Until the next time.